My name is Harriet Emerson, and I'm the group leader for Salt Lake Thrive. So Thrive is a local community group that we work to raise awareness of the many benefits of a plant-rich diet, plant-centered diet, certainly for our health and for the animals, and not last but not least for the planet. So anyway, we started Salt Lake Thrive about 2.5 years ago. And Salt Lake Thrive is associated with Plant Pure Communities, which is a international, really nonprofit grassroots network of groups like Thrive. And so very many other groups like Thrive out there just trying to once again raise awareness and provide resources. So Thrive provides ongoing resources like this event, like I say, for about the past 2.5 years. And so really excited to have everyone join us. Just kind of wondering, let's see if I can expand the view. There we go. That's easier for me. So wonderful. So happy to have so many people join us today. And once again, sorry for a couple of technical snafus, but thanks for being patient with us. So we're going to have, as part of our ongoing process, to provide educational events and just really show, I think a lot of people, when they're thinking about adopting or moving towards a plant-rich diet, they think, oh my goodness, it's going to be so complicated and hard, and what am I going to eat? So one of the goals of Thrive, and certainly the goals of the our event today with Sharon Bates, is to show how easy it can be. It's not difficult, it's not complicated. Very often, as Sharon will be demonstrating this afternoon, you can do it with 5 or a few or 6 or a few ingredients. Very, very easy to do. So while we're getting started, as Sharon's getting set up, kind of curious, kind of wondering where folks are from, and where you might be participating from. So maybe folks don't mind putting that in the chat. And also how you heard about the meeting. Looks like we have a lot of attendees today. I know we had a lot of people register, and some people may still be trying to find us. I know typically I'm one of those folks, just about when the meeting's supposed to start, I'm frankly looking for the Zoom link. So we'll give those folks, giving them a little time to find us. Wonderful. It was up to 17 participants. So, from Canada, wonderful.
Hey.
Boston.
Hey.
Dallas, Texas, wonderful. Oh my goodness. In the Bay Area, my husband and I recently moved to Salt Lake from Berkeley, Vancouver, wonderful. This is great to have, like they said, Thrive is a member of an international grassroots network, and it's exciting to see we have a truly international with our Canadian friends and neighbors joining us here today in Maryland. And so the people in Eventbrite, a lot of people find the meeting, I guess, through Eventbrite. Well, that's exciting. Look, Sharon, we have folks we'll hear from in Utah, Alexandria, Virginia. Wonderful, wonderful. That's so exciting.
We're so happy to have you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So before we get Sharon, so are you ready to get started, Sharon? Are you ready to get started? Well, great. So Sharon, she can give us a few more words about ourselves, but Sharon describes herself as a plant-based, home-based mom who really enjoys doing cooking demos and helping people, be aware of the benefits of plant-based nutrition. And I think, Sharon, you've cooked at some retreats and things like that. So thank you so much. This is the second cooking demo Sharon has done for us. And we're excited to have her do that. So without further ado, we'll turn it over to Sharon Bates. You're going to do a 5-ingredient enchilada, Sharon, and then some no-bake peanut bars.
Yes. So we're going to start off with the 5-ingredient enchilada, and then I'm going to move into the no-bake crunch bars. Do you remember those crunch bars? I mean, I think they're still in the store, of course. I mean, if Butterfinger and Three Musketeers are, they should be there. But I haven't seen one in forever. Those blue with the big crunch, it's like that. It's that kind of a bar, except you get to have more fun with it. And before we get, and then I'm going to do a couple of healthy eating hacks. I'll show you those when the time comes. And I'm surprisingly going to make peanut butter with you because I found out that I was out of peanut butter. So you get to watch me make peanut butter at home. And then we'll move on to the Buddha bowl, which is just taking whatever you've got left in the fridge and making it into a beautiful dish. So before we start, everybody get a glass of water because I don't drink enough water in the day. So every time I cook, I drink a big glass of water. So get your glass of water. Let's drink. Cheers. You might need a second to grab your water. Oh, we're also going to provide the recipes via email to the group. If we have your email, we will send you. I believe we have everybody's email through the Eventbrite. So if it's all right with you, we'll send you the recipes.
And I'm putting the contact information, Sharon, for Salt Lake Thrive in the chat box, both where we are on Facebook. I hope to have us on Instagram and a different separate website, because I know not everybody does Facebook, but also our email as well. So if folks want information about just in general about plant-based foods and cooking and nutrition, or more information about Thrive or whatever resource. So I put the contact information in the chat box.
Yay, great. All right, so we'll get started. So the first thing you're gonna do for the 5-ingredient enchilada is get your super firm tofu. You can use any kind of, you can use firm, just don't use silken. You could, but it's gonna be a little mushy. And then you start to cut it into 1-inch squares. So I'm gonna cut it down the middle here. And I don't know if you know this about tofu, but a good reason to use super firm is so that you don't have to spend 20 minutes pressing the juice out. I don't know if you know about that, but when I found out about how to cook tofu properly, it was like life-changing. That juice that is in the tofu will add kind of a soury, bittery taste. But with the super firm, you don't have to really squeeze it out. So that's why we're using super firm today. Now I'm making barbecue tofu. Oh, I have an air fryer. I got an air fryer that attaches to my Instant Pot pressure cooker. It's the best thing ever. Because I'm like a French fry girl. I love French fries. I like things that are crispy. So it's really good with the tofu. All right, so we've got these 1-inch squares. You can see they look like dice. And then I'm gonna heat up my pan. I found out that I didn't have to cook with oil every single time. So this is a recipe that you could get away with not cooking with oil. So I'm gonna do that. I usually have a little cup of water here that I will put in. And once it starts to sizzle and bubble up, then that's a good time to put everything in. So I got the flame on high to get it started. Vegetable broth is great too for that kind of cooking, that non-oil cooking. And then, so the 5 ingredients are tofu, black beans, enchilada sauce, which comes in a can. I got this Hatch organic red, and I'm using mild because I used medium last time, and my 4-year-old he ate it, but like suffering through it. So tofu, black beans, enchilada sauce, tortillas, and then to garnish, cut avocado, like chopped avocado. Okay, so the pan is starting to sizzle. I'll give you a close up on that so you can. And if we weren't in a pandemic, I'd have a cameraman, but my cameraman is not babysitting, but being a father right now. Okay, so it's starting to sizzle. All right.
2021 is on the way, Sharon. It's around the corner.
Hey, I'm just happy to have some company. Okay, so we're gonna take these tofu cubes and just toss them in. You're gonna wanna preheat your oven to 350 because we're gonna, after we put all the ingredients in the tortillas, we're gonna toss them in the oven. Let me just rinse my hands. Oh, so my kitchen isn't a mystery. This is what it looks like. I'll give you a little tour. Here's a wonderful breakfast. Breakfast bar. There's my sink. It's so clean. I'm proud. I'm proud.
And I like this, Sharon, because it's showing, you know, you have a lovely kitchen, but it's not a professional kitchen. So once again, this is, you know, something that anyone can do anywhere in any kitchen. You don't need a bunch of fancy equipment or a big, enormous kitchen to do some really good, delicious plant-based cooking.
Yeah, you can do this in a New York kitchen. Okay, so in the recipe, you can add spices to this, and you don't have to, but I will. So for Mexican food, I like to use cumin, chili powder, a little oregano, the usual, you know. And let me tell you, we have eaten out or ordered out maybe 6 times during this whole pandemic. So I have been trying to master all those dishes that I love, Thai food like pad Thai and the coconut soup. What is it? Tom Yum Gai or something like that, but not with chicken, of course. And some Indian dishes. Oh my gosh, saag paneer. And I do it with tofu. And it's like with a little nutritional yeast that gives it that little cheesy flavor. Oh, so good. Okay, so I'll get those spices. Oh my goodness, my spice drawer. So.
Sharon, we had a question, but I know and other folks I'm sure are going to have questions, but you'd prefer us to hold off on the questions for just a bit?
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Oh, okay. Well, we had the question. So let's see. Someone was wondering how much of this meal can be prepared without oil? Can the entire meal be prepared without oil?
Yes. The enchilada sauce has no oil. The black beans, no oil. You know, there's no oil in it. Oh, you know, if you're a stickler, the tortillas are prepared probably with an oil. Let's see, sunflower oil. So
okay,
but it's the tortillas. But yeah, that's if you're a stickler. Otherwise, you can make it without. All right, so they're starting to heat up. I'm gonna add the spices. So here's the cumin. Just, you know, what's funny is my husband just cannot stand the smell of cumin, but he loves like Mexican food and Peruvian food. I cook Peruvian food sometimes because I'm half Peruvian, half Dutch. Chili powder, not too much. Don't want it spicy for my baby. A little oregano, which gives it a little sweetness. All right. Oh, where's my spatula? Oh, I love this thing. I got it for my birthday like 2 years ago. I should probably get a new one, but.
So quite often, Sharon, back to cooking with no oil, a lot of times I've really reduced my use of oil. And so sometimes just water or veggie broth to saute vegetables. Quite often water works. A little veggie broth works. There are a lot of things if one chooses to replace oil for sauteing vegetables.
Yeah. Oh, the only time I use oil is like when I'm making pancakes. What I'll do is I'll cook it on this griddle, and I'll toss some coconut oil on there because coconut oil is a high heat oil, so it doesn't start to turn into like a carcinogen when you're cooking with it in a reasonable temperature. All right, so they're getting nice and warmed through. The flavor will be sinking in. And while I do that, I'll show you this awesome can opener that we got. I should have like advertisement, like they should sponsor me. Kun Ricon. It's so my husband's name is John, and he got this because he's such a sweetheart, and he's so thoughtful. He didn't want our cans to have that sharp lid open when we had our son, you know, kind of going around getting into everything. And there's been a couple of times where he's reached into the recycling bin and has cut his hand. My husband, not my baby, but and so he found this opener. I'm turning the heat off on the, because I see that it's browning. He found this opener that, so it has this little beak, and you clamp it, and then it pulls up just that lid, and there's no sharp anything.
And what's it called, Sharon?
It's the Kun Ricon.
Okay.
Kunrikon can
opener.
And it sits on the top. Oops. Sits on the top rather than on the side.
Well, Sharon, someone's wondering why you're not using a fish spatula instead.
You know, this kind of is pretty thin. It's also wide, so it's like a wide spatula. I do have a fish spatula, but if I really want to like get the crunchies at the bottom, then the fish spatula is going to give me a little bit of a wobbly time. So what I will use is like this. What are these called? What kind of spatula is this? This is like heavy duty, like. And I use a stainless steel pan, and I can make it non-stick just by heating it up without anything in it, just heating it up, and then putting some high heat oil, rolling it around, and then letting it cool off. And then you wipe the oil out and it becomes a nonstick. I looked it up online. I was like, how do I try? Because I got tired of worrying about what's leaching into my food. So I was like, I'm just going to use nonstick. And these are not my favorite, but I don't have, when we moved here, I didn't buy the pans for like baking and doing enchiladas and stuff like that. So I just use this. But if you have like a 8x8 or a 9x6 or whatever, all those, that's great. You should use that. Okay.
And someone's wondering, Sharon, how you set up your camera for the demo.
Oh, it's my iPad, and I have it on this like robot arm of a holder. I'll try and like flip it around so you can, no, it won't let me. Here, you know what? I'll take my iPad down so you can see. So funny. Okay. Okay, so that's the robot arm. Ta-da! It's on the counter. All right. The sun's going down here in Salt Lake City. Luckily, it's a sunny day, so I'm gonna turn on the lights. Okay, so this is supposed to be quicker, but I like talking to you guys. So, okay, here we go. So this is the tortillas. So funny. I went to the store. to the store to get the tortillas for the demo today. Yeah. Hey. I went to the store to get the tortillas and they were out of tortillas. So I had to pull mine out of the freezer, which I like to freeze mine sometimes when I need them in an emergency. So they were out of tortillas and I'm like, I only have 3 tortillas. How am I gonna do this? Then today my husband went and he got like the big burrito size. So I'm gonna have to cut those in half. All right, so so I have the beans. I'm gonna drain them because we don't want bean juice. Let me get my strainer. Don't want bean juice. These beans I buy are without salt. They're the Eden brand. And they cook them. They don't add salt, but they do add kombu, which is like a seaweed, which adds minerals into it. So it's kind of an expensive brand, but I really like them. All right, so you'll take your tofu. Your beans. This can be done with refried beans too, if you're in a pinch. And just a little, here I'll put it in the pan, enchilada sauce. And then just roll it up. Roll it up and face the flap down so that it doesn't open up again. Okay. Should get about 5 tortillas worth. Beans. Hot sauce. It looks so plain, but it's so full of flavor when they're all done. Ah, tofu down.
Well, Sharon, I like the fact that you use just a can of beans. I mean, it's great to buy beans in bulk and batch cooking, what have you. But I know personally, I always have a couple of cans of black beans, garbanzo beans, kidney beans. Those are kind of my staples.
Yes, I do too. And on top of that, the fact that I actually will cook 2 different kinds of beans on Sunday. Like I'll soak them overnight and then I'll cook them on Sunday and then I'll have them for the week. Okay, these are pretty big. I'm gonna get these big old burrito. I've been getting whole wheat, like these are whole wheat tortillas. And if you would have talked to me like 2 years ago, I would have said like, no thanks on the whole wheat. I'd be disappointed if I had like a whole wheat bun for my veggie burger. I always wanted a white. I used to like order a veggie burger and they would put it on a whole wheat and I would be so disappointed. And now, because I'm I found out that, you know, eating grains in their whole form as close as possible is actually like way better for your digestion. And it like the whole grain, the husk, it feels, I think I remember reading something about how it like gives the body the right information on how to digest it. And I was kind of sold at that point. And now when I eat white, it like has no flavor. It's really interesting how that happened.
I've been having the regular pasta versus the whole grain pasta debate with my husband. So.
Dawn, you'll get used to it and then you won't go back. Once you go whole grain, you don't go back. Okay. All right. So, now these will go in the oven for, I'm gonna squeeze this one in here. Scoot over, guys. Okay. All right, I have extra beans. I'm just gonna toss them around in like the little open gaps. Why not? All right, and then just pour the enchilada sauce all over it. And the parts
You're making everyone hungry, Sharon. You're making me hungry.
I know, you know, that's what that happened last time, and that's why I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was an ingredient list and an invitation to join me in this cooking. Okay, so here we go. And these parts that are not covered are going to get really crispy and yummy. So let that be. Okay, we're going to put in the oven. $20. Rinse my hands.
I'm sorry, Sharon, did you say what temperature at 20 minutes?
350.
350 for 20 minutes.
For 20 minutes. Okay. All right, and now we will, while that's cooking, we'll make a treat. Okay, so these are the crunch bars. You're gonna need a pot. And actually, I'll do it on this flame so you can see better. I'll move this, put it away. Okay. All right, let me get, actually, I forgot to grab my chocolate chips. All right. Okay, so for those of you that live in Salt Lake City, and I think there's one in Colorado, there's probably a few branches, but it's a kind of family-owned grocery store called Natural Grocers. And what I buy is their bittersweet chocolate chips, organic. I try to buy organic everything. And it has, let's see, 5 grams of sugar, which is like a little sugar packet at you know, a coffee shop. And that's for 41 pieces. So for 41 of these is one little packet of sugar. I wish I could tell you like how many are in the recipe, but I'd have to sit down and count them all. Okay, so you'll need a pot. You'll need some water in that pot. And this is the way to melt chocolate. You don't do it directly in a pan because it will just fry. So you do a pot with water, then you put a bowl over it. So it gets that really like ambient heat. You're gonna need 1.5 cups And like I said, we'll be sending you the recipes. With the measurements. I just eyeball half a cup. And then we're gonna need rice, brown rice crisp cereal, or brown rice crisp, or not brown rice, but I go with the brown rice. And it's just basically like a Rice Krispie. And we'll need 3 cups of that.
Sharon, while you're working on that, I'm letting everybody know about our next event in February. Actually, we have an event on January 6th about weight loss and management, but Sharon's next event will be, she'll be doing another cooking demo for us on Tuesday, February 9th, and where a lot of people won't be able to go out for dinner, may not feel comfortable going out for dinner. So Sharon's going to do a cooking demo on a romantic, heart-healthy Valentine's Day dinner, because of February, we will be celebrating heart health. And we also hope to have a presentation on heart health. So stay posted either on our Facebook page or to get on our event notification email list at saltlakethrive@gmail.com. So yes, yeah. February is Heart Health Month.
You know, what's so funny, Harriet, is I was thinking about like, what should I make? You know, what's romantic? And I've made stuff in the past, and there's this raspberry love tart that I've made that I'm like, that's going on the list. That's going in the demo. And then I had this chickpea. Oh, my stove likes to yell at me sometimes. There, I just need to bang it a little. So I was having this chickpea buffalo cauliflower chickpea casserole that was like so good, and it was delicious, but my nose was running because it was spicy, and I was like, this is not romantic. This wouldn't be a romantic thing. And so I might do a separate menu for singles, who need the heat.
Someone asked if we could help. The Valentine's Day event comes with a date. I don't think we'll be able to help with that, but but you never know who you're going to meet on these meetings, right, Sharon? You never know if you're going to meet on one of our events. So
yeah, you know what? This is perfect because I'm going to make the peanut butter right now because I need peanut butter for this recipe. I need more than what I have. And while I blend that and I go on mute, everybody take a moment and kind of scroll through and see if you see anybody cute. All right. They might not be available though, sorry. Okay. Okay, this is the coolest thing ever. If you feel like you've missed something about the peanut butter, then I invite you to go on YouTube and search peanut butter in a blender. And it's one of the top hits, and it says, "So easy, my 3-year-old can do it." That is a good one because it's literally his 3-year-old putting in the peanuts and then hitting a button. So
those 3-year-olds to work.
Yeah. So this is unsalted roasted 1 bag of peanuts. I can do 2, but I'll just do 1 today.
Sharon, when it's a good moment for you, we had someone ask you about the nutritional information on the brown rice crisp, in particular the salt and sugar.
Yeah. All right. So I get like the least amount of sugar. So the rule in our house with my son is to just like not have sugar unless it's the weekend. So when we have cereal, we're having it usually on the weekend. So it's organic whole grain brown rice, organic cane sugar, and sea salt are the 3 ingredients. And sorry, I did that quick. Hold on. It's only 1 gram of added sugar for every 1 1/3 cup of the brown rice. So is it too blurry?
So not sugar-free, but low sugar.
Very low sugar, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm gonna put myself on mute and I will, you'll get to see the peanut butter in action. Actually, let me drop this. And the chocolate chips are starting to melt. They're starting to get a little melty. The peanut butter is gonna take me, oh boy. Yeah, if you want to scroll through, it's gonna take me about 4 or 5 minutes, maybe.
Well, while you're doing that, Sharon, I mean, the holidays, hard to believe we're already in the holidays and Christmas and Hanukkah and, you know, so many things going on this month and New Year's Eve coming up and Kwanzaa and what have you. Maybe people can exchange thoughts on what are some of the biggest challenges, what have you, for plant-based eating during the holidays. If that's something we want to discuss while Sharon is turning up the peanut butter. Personally, starting out, I am the only 100% plant exclusive person in my family. And so I think initially for me, I always feel a challenge to come up with some dishes that are entirely plant-based, but then other members of my family who are not, they're omnivores, that they'll enjoy. So that's a challenge for me. And more often than not, you know, people really, my family members really enjoy some of the recipes that we come up with. So once again, my challenge, not really a problem, but it's an opportunity and a challenge, is to come up, and won't be getting together with family members as much this year, but coming up with dishes that are going to encourage other people to try out or explore a plant-rich diet. So anyone else in the chat, anyone else, or people can unmute themselves and if they want to. So if someone has a question, what can we do for a vegan Chris Kwanzaa cut? My goodness, that kind of covers everything. Someone say, yeah, thank you, Maria, agreeing to things that omnivores will like. Because I don't know about you guys, but I like to eat. And so I always like to have food around the house that tastes good, something for my husband and I to always nosh on. So I'm an eater. And so I like to think, but and I didn't go plant-based till later in life. It's not like I went plant, you know, in my teens or something. So often I look for foods that mimic the taste of what I ate growing up, such as, you know, meatloaf or burgers or something like that. And so typically, if I like it, my omnivore family and friends will like it. So someone says mashed potatoes, green bean casserole, rolls, So the good thing is there are so many great entirely plant-based recipes for mashed potatoes and gravy. I've made several entirely plant-based gravy recipes that are so easy to do, and they're so rich. No one would ever know it was vegan if you didn't tell them it was vegan.
There you go.
So Sharon's back with us.
Yeah, that was faster. I put on the soup setting on my Blendtec, and that it needs that heat to just warm it up and pull out the oils.
While you were doing that, Sharon, I asked folks to share some of their challenges, since we're in the holidays and what have you. And I shared that my challenge is looking for, when we were able to get together with family members, is that dishes that my omnivore friends and family members will like, and hopes, part to help encourage them to explore a plant-rich diet and realize it's delicious. It's absolutely delicious. You're not going to lose any of the richness, the creaminess, the taste, the flavor with a healthy plant-rich diet.
Yes. In fact, I regularly post in a group on Facebook that a friend of mine invited me to, who's a chef. And I don't know, what he was thinking, because he doesn't know about my cooking skills. But I went in there and I started posting all the things that I make. And I was getting really excited about it, because I don't post on my regular page about the stuff that I make, only because I have friends in Yemen and they're like going through such a rough time right now. I don't want to show all my yummy food to them while they're, that's the only reason. So when I was invited to this group, I went all out and I was just posting everything. And I had one of the fellow chefs say, "Gosh, Sharon, you make such delicious meals. I wish you were my private chef." So I really am like on a mission to show people, like, you're not going to miss anything, really. All right. We've got this, but that's so true. And I think shepherd's pie has been one that I've made for a bunch of people with I think I used a combination of the Light Life crumbles and Beyond Meat in that one. But yeah, that's a fun one to make.
Yeah, somebody mentioned I've seen quite a few recipes for shepherd's pie.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I could go back. If I make a recipe and it's like good, it goes in my recipe book. I'll show you. I have this 3-ring binder that I just laminate, so if it gets messy, it doesn't ruin the recipe. And I have recipes from Rich Roll's meal planning site. You can join for $14 a month, and it has meal planning that comes with a shopping list, and it gives you, like, you just swipe. It's almost like Tinder. It's like you swipe through the breakfast. Oh yeah, I want that one. Click, and then it adds it to your shopping list. This is the fluffiest vegan pancakes. We make those almost every week. Green juice pulp muffins, green breakfast bowl. So I have breakfast in the front, and then here's one vegan jambalaya in the Instapot. This is from a cooking demo that we attended with the mushroom soup she was a chef she was a cook that did not like mushrooms at all, but she knew she had to eat them because they have certain vitamins and minerals that are like amazing. So she was like, I make this soup and I can eat it and I love it and I crave it. I think they make it every Christmas or something. So that's my 3-ring binder.
And Sharon, what's the name of the chef's group that you belong to?
It's called Herd, like with an exclamation mark, Herd, because I think that's what they say in the kitchen, My friend, he works at the Brown Palace in Denver, Colorado. He's the head chef there.
Is that H-E-R-D?
Yeah, H-E-R-D. No, H-E-A-R-D.
H-E-A-R-D. Okay.
Like when a chef says, how Chef Ramsay is just like table for two, beef Wellington, blah, 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 blah. And then they go, herd. All right. So this has been ready and I've just been rambling on. So it's 1.5 cups of chocolate chips and then 1 cup of peanut butter. Look at this fresh peanut butter, no salt, no palm oil, no extra. It's a little chunky. You can make it crispy. I recommend refrigerating it.
What's Phoebe want?
So you're gonna wanna mix it in the chocolate, with the chocolate first. Oh my gosh, I bet I could just make like peanut butter cups with just these 2 things. The Reese's Pieces.
Baby, you okay?
Oh, who are you talking to? Your doggy?
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I had the mic on.
No, it's okay. I did that to my dog. My dog is almost 17. I'm like, what's going on? Are you okay?
Yeah, it's my dog too.
Oh, our dog is like, he's so old that after he eats and drinks water, I literally have to burp him because he's just so old. So it takes me back to my infant days when my son was an infant. And I'm good at it too. I just hold him, Hold
Sure,
on.
I know you just repeated a couple of ingredients. Someone asked repeating if we could repeat the amounts of each ingredient from the crunch bars.
Yeah, so the brown, it's 4 things. The rice, crispy rice, the peanut butter, the chocolate, and what's funny is when I first did this recipe, it called for coconut oil. And Harriet, there are the enchiladas. Harriet said, can those be made without oil? And I said, let me do like a taste test. So I did one without oil. Oh yeah. I did one without oil. I did one without oil and maple syrup. And then I did one with everything. And I let the boys taste all 3, like we were wine tasting or something. And they liked the one without the oil, but with the maple syrup the most. And then their second.
That probably would have been my favorite.
Yeah, it actually made it taste a little like almost waxy with the coconut oil. So now it's like.
And how much peanut butter, Sharon?
1 cup. So it's
One.
So it's 3 cups of rice, 1.5 cups of the chocolate chips, and 1 cup of peanut butter. And then you could put maple syrup to taste. You could not put maple syrup at all. I like to use real maple syrup. So I'm gonna put that in.
1/2 cups of the chocolate chips.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much maple syrup?
So 1/4 cup or to taste. 1/4 cup is plenty, I feel like. I do all my baking with maple syrup now. When I found out that I could sub maple syrup for sugar, I was like, what? And maple syrup is actually sweeter and it has way more like minerals and goodness. And so for every cup of sugar in a recipe, yes, the chocolate chips were sweetened. They were barely sweetened. They're called bittersweet. I'll show you. And And you don't have to use chocolate chips. You can buy your favorite chocolate bar that is sweetened with xylitol or whatever and get away with it.
Or unsweetened, some specialty chocolate. So
Yeah. In Salt Lake City here, we have a company that sweetens with honey. But since I've become like fully hardcore vegan, I don't do honey either. I went plant-based about a year and a half ago, like fully vegan plant-based. All right. Oh, and we're missing the best part. I'm pouring it in.
I bet Sharon, these would make a great snack on the go, a dessert or a treat or.
It totally does. And it also makes, like, if you're going to do a home movie night, this is what I was going to show you actually. You can make like little bonbon-y things and just like pop them in your mouth. You might eat too many, I don't know. But I mean, this is it. This is, you mix this and then you cool it off. Oh my
Someone's
goodness.
asking Sharon, when substituting with maple syrup, do we need to adjust the dry ingredients and recipes?
No, it kind of does it on its own. It kind of adjusts on its own because it's for every cup of sugar, you use 3/4 cup of maple syrup because it's so sweet already. And then that makes up also for the moisture that it's adding. I haven't noticed any difference. With anything coming out raw or, uncooked, or which are the same things.
So is this going to be dessert tonight at your house?
Yeah. Yes, because I just finished the other batch yesterday eating. I think I have like one little square left. All right. So you mix that up, and I'm going to grab my pan and pull the enchiladas out there. They are ready. It's so funny because these recipes are usually, I can bang them out a lot quicker, but I'm looking at the time and I'm like, wow, we still have a half hour. I thought I would finish in less than an hour. All right. So here's the enchiladas. I'm gonna let them cool off. And then let me get the pan for the, all right, so you get to choose and be creative of how you want this to be shaped. The first time I did it in a kind of rectangular container, and then it turned out to be like this thick. I don't know, it was just awkward to eat because it kind of felt like I was gonna eat fudge, but then it was like hard and crispy. So like I said, the movie theater bonbon-y size bites are gonna be amazing. So I'll take a spoon and just plop them down. You can use parchment paper, but I don't think they're gonna stick too badly, so. Can you guys see okay? Let me bring it closer.
Someone's asking Sharon, if one were to add coconut oil, how much? I don't recall how much I was looking for the recipe. I couldn't find it.
Oh, I'll let you know. It was,
okay.
It wasn't too much. I think it was also maybe like a 1/4 cup. Okay, so you'll just, and then you can pop them into a Ziploc bag when they're all cooled off. Okay, so I moved to Salt Lake City from California 4 years ago. And I have to say, other than the beautiful winter wonderland that we live in the winter time, my other favorite thing is using outdoors as a refrigerator. We just stick a cooler outside on the deck, and it's just, automatic refrigerator, because I feel like since I started eating plant-based, I feel like I need 2 refrigerators, like one for all my veggies and one for like condiments and nuts and seeds and things like that. Because when you go to natural grocers, that grocery store I was telling you about earlier, they have all their rice and all their nuts and seeds and flours in the refrigerator. They have it all refrigerated. All right, so I'm not gonna I should do this whole thing, because otherwise it's gonna cool off and just be this big glob in the bowl. So I'll do a few more, and then what I'll do is I'll use the warm oven that's happening right now and just kind of keep it warm until after the demo, when I can do more of this. Oh my goodness. I will eat all of this in one in one popcorn, in one movie setting for sure.
Well, I probably would do. So thank goodness for our weight loss and management event coming up on January 6th. So I think I'm going to need it. Plus the quarantine 15. Is that what it is? So
20. They call it the COVID 20 or something like that. Or quarantine 15. That's hilarious.
So someone wants to know, Sharon, if you use vegan cheese.
Oh yeah, so I do. I try to not eat too many processed things. But yeah, my husband, who is not 100%, well, I should say he's plant-based with a tendency to eat meat, like on a very special occasion. And one of the things that was, of course, it's like for everybody, the hardest thing to give up is cheese. He would make his, cow milk lattes every morning. And when I was like, I'm vegan now, I left a sticky note on his milk that said, cows are pregnant for 9 months too, like,
No guilt.
Bless him that he just rolled with it, and has been really, really like trying all the milks to see which one he likes the most, hemp, oat. And so far, his favorite is the Eden soy unsweetened, soy milk with like 2 ingredients.
I use that
water.
a lot.
Yeah. And he adds a splash of vanilla, which I think is more expensive than gold right now. Okay, so, I can probably put some closer together, but ooh, these are gonna turn into little yummy nuggets. And I'm gonna put this outside in my free refrigerator.
Well, fortunately for those who like cheese, there are so many plant-based alternatives in most stores these days, and it probably depends. I know we have folks from so many different places. And I believe there's one, Kite Hill. There may be for those who are looking to cut back or reduce their amount of oil. I believe is it cheese. Kite Hill, I think, makes an oil-free cheese. But yes, there are a lot of. I recently took a cheese making class, which I need to watch the video. But I think it's pretty easy to do. And like I say, there are so many alternatives. I do it occasionally. Miyoko's, I think, is one of my favorites when I'm going to do a plant-based cheese at home. But probably where everybody lives, or someone who does local plant-based cheese.
Yeah, so this is one of my husband's favorites.
Yeah, Miyoko's, uh-huh.
Yep, it's a Roadhouse cheddar, and it's like creamy, like a cream cheese. And then here is a favorite, Follow Your Heart smoked Gouda slices. I'm planning to make a macaroni and cheese that is with this, and then not tonight. Not with you guys, but another day.
The time.
If it comes out really good, then I'll let you guys know. And then this is also one of his favorites, which is also a Miyoko's. Yeah.
She makes a butter. I don't do a lot of, but I went through a whole block of her butter for Thanksgiving. And I like it because it doesn't have palm oil. It does have coconut oil, but I don't do a lot of added oil. So once a year, I kind of go crazy. And the Miyoko, she has a great book, the Vegan Pantry, I believe is what it's called. And I like, and she has some recipes in there of making cheese. So.
Oh, very cool. Okay. Well, I'll throw this in the oven with a plate on top.
Oh, Sharon, how long do the treats need to be refrigerated?
Like 30 minutes to an hour, just depending. Like they were already cooling off with the little spooning that I was doing, and then yeah, so I would say about 30 minutes, those will be ready. Okay, so for the super quick, healthy crash course, healthy hacks. There are two that are my favorite right now. And when I say healthy hack, what I mean is like just a way to kind of not cheat, but like get an amazing, get the most out of just a little change. So, so what I was going to show you was my peanut butter that I just made. Here we go. See, I don't know if a lot of you just like gobble peanut butter down like we do over here, but I'm always looking for ways to incorporate like healthy nutrients for my son, who will one day he'll eat a salad, you know, that is like so nutritious with all kinds of goodies in it, a chopped salad, and then the next day he'll like shun his broccoli, and then the next day he'll gobble down the broccoli. Like he's so off and on. But one thing he's usually into is smoothies, and he's also into peanut butter. So one way that you can boost up your peanut butter without sacrificing the flavor too much is to add seeds. All these yummy seeds. So we have pumpkin seed, sesame seed, hemp seed, chia, and ground flax. I found out that it's much better to grind your flax because like a lot of animals, when you eat a seed, your body can't break it down, so it just passes right through. And flax has a ton of omega-3s that are heart healthy. They're very good for us, especially those who are eating oils. I'm no nutritionist, but I've done my research. Okay, so what you can do is, I have this, I did like sand art with it. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so fun. And then I'm gonna shake it up. I'm gonna shake it up. And then I'm not gonna add this whole thing. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it. But, so you'll put this in your peanut butter. You don't have to have homemade peanut butter. Just grab, you know, peanut butter and then sprinkle it in. Yeah, so I use like, you know, a quarter of it and mix it in. And so when Oh, go ahead, Harry.
Oh, I was going to say on my cereal, you mentioned chia, hemp, and flax seeds. So I have about a couple of teaspoons of each on my cereal every morning.
Yes. Yeah. So this is another way, and I'll serve this with apple slices to my son. And it was funny the first time I did it, I was just kind of like looking at him like, is he gonna eat it? Is he gonna notice? He didn't even notice. So he's munching all this goodness in with his apple slices. And it's good for us too. So there you have it, going in I call this seed nut butter because it's peanut butter with seeds. Okay, that's one healthy hack. Another good one is, let me throw this, look at my refrigerator. I need 2 refrigerators. I know that some people do have 2 refrigerators. They have one in their garage. Okay. So the other healthy hack is if you're in a rush to make your smoothie ahead of time, or your smoothies ahead of time in these locked, glass, I use a glass one, Tupperware. And this is green pineapple paradise. So it has pineapple, mango, the frozen banana. Frozen banana should be chopped because otherwise you end up with kind of big chunks. And then it has, and I'll send you the recipe for this too, spinach, frozen spinach, and frozen avocado. And I just throw this in the blender with a 1/2 cup of soy milk. And there's your smoothie ready to go. So you can, ahead of time, make your smoothies, stack them up in the fridge. And then you you can label them and it's like, oh, today I feel like having the pineapple paradise. I love greens in my smoothies because it just hides so well. And if you're not into banana or you have a sensitivity to it or anything like that, I found out that this is so bizarre. And when I heard about it, I was like, I don't know. But I tried it, it was amazing. So frozen zucchini will add that kind of creamy texture to your smoothie that banana does. And you hardly taste it. I didn't taste it at all. So that was amazing. So those are my 2 healthy hacks.
And you use zucchini in place of the banana, Sharon?
Huh?
You use the zucchini in place of the banana?
Yeah, so if somebody has a food sensitivity or they're just I don't want a banana in the morning, they can use the chopped zucchini. And I'll usually buy a bunch of kale and freeze it myself because I found that when I buy it in a bag, that it's all stemmy and just not very appetizing actually. So when I freeze kale, it's still fluffy, it's still it looks like it's just somebody balled it up, but and then I can just break it. And I will stick this whole thing in a smoothie. All right.
Sharon, do you wash and freeze it?
Yes, I rinse it. I get it nice and clean. The stems in the stemmy center I'll keep the stems, that's where the dirt likes to be the most. All right, let's move on to the Buddha bowl.
We are getting a lot of cooking in one night. I'll have to say enchiladas and treats and
Yeah.
peanut butter seed mix and now a Buddha bowl.
Yes. Okay, let me get my massive cutting board. I love this cutting board. So a Buddha bowl you can look online and find a Buddha bowl recipe, and they are quite intimidating sometimes. And so when I took when I was in the beginning of my plant-based eating journey, I took a course with Food Revolution Network, and they had partnered up with this chef, Cynthia Louise. Are any of you familiar with her? So she's so fun. I think she's got like an Australian accent or South African or something. And she lives in Bali, and she does these cooking shows, and she can be vulgar sometimes. It's hilarious. But but she's got great food and great technique. She showed me how to cut my vegetables the proper way and quickly. And so this is her version of a Buddha bowl, which she says has no rules, except for have one thing fermented in it. And what you do is you just grab whatever you have in your fridge. So whatever you have left. So I have carrot, purple cabbage, cauliflower, red bell pepper, and some greens. So what we're gonna do is let me get my bowl. We're gonna just chop them up to really nice bite-sized pieces. So let's see. Am I blocking the?
Is this a raw Buddha bowl, Sharon?
Yes, but it can have cooked things. Like it really is like whatever your heart's desire. Oops, I need to turn my thing. The fun part about it being raw is that you get to eat vegetables that you never eat raw. Like you could put raw sweet potato in this, and you just like savor the flavors in a whole other way. You know what? Actually, my favorite way to cut this cabbage is with my mandolin. So I'm gonna go grab that.
Well, what I like about Buddha bowls is they're so simple. My husband, we do like broccoli and carrots and garbanzo beans, and then wild rice or brown rice or some kind of rice. And then like you said, Sharon, something fermented. So they're just so easy. It can really be almost anything that you want. So it's so easy to do.
Yeah, normally what I do, because now we do grocery shopping pretty much once a week, because I try to keep my exposure to a minimum. I pick up my CSA bag from Liberty Heights Fresh, which has been like a favorite thing, because you don't know what you're gonna get. You get one day you get baby turnips, another day you get like celery root. I mean, like, what do I do with this? And it's opened me up to a whole other world of cooking. And so I pick that up on Thursday and then do all my grocery shopping. So Wednesday night is like Buddha bowl night. It's like whatever I have, I can't even think of what I want to cook. I'm just gonna make a Buddha bowl. So
I found my husband and I in the past couple of months a really nice oil-free sauce that we enjoy for our Buddha bowl. So I can include that in the email as well. So pretty simple to do, and throw it in a small blender, and very, ginger and garlic and tamari and a few other tahini, and easy to do, but it's our go-to. It's nice to have those go-to recipes, like you said, Sharon, that you don't have to think about.
Yes, and then you throw it, you're so hungry anyway, but you throw it together and it's like this nutritious, delicious goodness. And yeah, you can definitely do a cooked one. I think she says that Buddha bowl, she says, Didn't they used to be called Dragon Bowls? What happened? Where did Buddha Bowl come into play? And our cameraman said the dragon got enlightened. All right, so, I have this huge chunk of, cauliflower is one of those vegetables that I'm just like, you have to kind of force me to eat it. But I've been finding so many yummy recipes lately. I forced myself to like, okay, a cauliflower roast and buffalo cauliflower and Korean style. Oh, so good. As long as it's got like a lot of sauce on it or really good seasoning, which is like most everything, but okay. You want everything to be in bite-sized pieces. Like, you don't want to be like chewing too much on this.
So what do you have on your cutting board, Sharon? I know you have the cauliflower, but remind me what else you have?
So I have the purple cabbage. I have some carrots and some red bell pepper.
Okay.
Just like it's automatically turning into a rainbow of color. And then the cauliflower, which is yummy raw. Some people prefer it raw too. And then I have some greens, some mixed greens that I'm just gonna slice them up again because I want them to be super like edible, not having to chew them and choose. All right, and then I'll go ahead and start placing this all in the bowl.
She's making what's called Buddha bowl. A Buddha.
Buddha bowl. And then you have your, cabbage is so underrated. I feel like it lasts so long in the fridge and it makes such a crispy garnish for so many things. Like I would serve it with the enchiladas sliced up in these little slices.
That's so pretty.
Yeah, here's the base. And then I fished around in my refrigerator to see what else I had. And I have some they're called My Fun rice noodles that are cooked. They were leftovers. I'll just put some of that in here. And then you can add something sweet like a date, or I'm going to use a date or a couple of dates. You can put raisins, you can put currant, whatever you have on hand that's a dried fruit. These are so fresh. They're like melting when I squeeze them to pull the seed out. How are we doing? 3 minutes left. I'll put this next to the greens. And what's fun about this is that you just go with your intuition. Ooh, that sounds good. Like it calls to you when you think of an ingredient. I'm trying to hurry because I want to present I have some cilantro here that I was going to use in the enchilada garnish. I'm going to use that in the Buddha bowl. I'll put that next to the cabbage. Then I have some sunflower seeds that I'll just sprinkle. And the fermented. So I'm going to use sauerkraut. This is live sauerkraut that stays in the fridge, and it's a little more acidic than the kind you buy that's shelved shelved. I'll take some sauerkraut. You can use kimchi. You can use, you know, some pickled vegetables. And you only need a little bit, like a tablespoon, to really get those good bacterias into your tummy. All right. So what I would do is just squeeze a little lemon on this. If you have a dressing, you can use your dressing. Just like, oh, Harriet said she'll add a dressing to the recipe. So there you go. This is the Buddha bowl. You can eat it with chopsticks. That's how you should be able to eat it, is with chopsticks. There you go. Here you go. I made this for you. All right. So we're just about 1 minute left. I'll quickly, let's see if I can do this in 1 minute. Woo.
I think we have time, Sharon, if you can stay with us for a few more minutes, if we have any more questions. And
Yes.
someone asked if Thrive has a website. So we're on Facebook. We're also on Meetup. I just put that in the chat box. I am working on a YouTube channel. I do hope to have a website and get on Instagram, because I realize a lot of people don't use Facebook. And then saltlakethrive@gmail.com. So we have an email list whenever we have an event coming up. So any other questions for Sharon?
We are recording this, so you can look at it again. We'll include that in the link. I mean, in the email, I'm sure, the link. All right, so here we go. I'm trying to make sure you can see this. Ooh.
Or enchiladas?
Yes. So
Yay!
now I'm using this gangster spatula to just chop into it like a lasagna. And so the garnish is avocado, but I wouldn't garnish the plate itself because you might need to use it as leftovers. And you don't want avocado sitting as a leftover because it will brown. It won't look good. So you'll serve it into the plate, and then avocado. Should I tell them about the avocado? I do that every time. I'm
You
like,
should, absolutely.
you guys, if you ever have trouble with avocados where it's like you open it and it's all bruised and yucky, let me tell you, when you buy avocados, hopefully you're buying them ahead of time. If you're buying the day up, then I understand. Buy the brown one, the dark ones. But if you're buying ahead of time, buy like 6 of them green. Buy them green, and then just let them sit out. And in 2 or 3 days, they'll be dark like this. And then you can put them in the fridge at that time. And they will last for like 2 weeks, I think, even more. So this is one of those. And I'm gonna get my knife here. And I'll show you. It's like perfect every time. It's like perfectly soft. Uh-oh, this one's a little hard. No, hold on. Okay, and then you twist it, boop. And then, all right, this one is not so beautiful, but they are usually beautiful. So you're gonna wanna cut these into cubes, or however, slice it, just like that. And then I take one of these soup spoons, and I just scoop it out like that. I don't need this entire half on this one little plate, but let's see. Oops. There we go.
I think avocados make it possible, or certainly easier for me to stay plant-based.
Yes. Yeah, I'll use it as a cheese substitute sometimes. I'll do a caprese salad, which usually has mozzarella, tomato, and a basil leaf, and then some balsamic. And I use avocado in place of the mozzarella, and it's like just so amazing. All right, so this is the basic recipe plus some spices for the tofu. And then from here, you can add cilantro. You can add, you know, a little slice of lime. And there you have it. Your 5-ingredient enchiladas that 4-year-olds love.
And everyone else, four and up.
Thank you all for coming.
Well, thanks so much to everybody. And I'll just review a couple of announcements if you have any questions for Sharon. So once again, Salt Lake Thrive. And so glad for staying patient with us past our initial technical difficulties. So once again, we have, I put these in the chat. Our next event is on Wednesday, January 6th with Dr. Nikki Davis on weight loss and management through a healthy plant-rich diet. Dr. Davis, she did a fantastic presentation on breast cancer prevention and awareness in October. So she's going to come back with it, back with us next month. Really excited about that, Dr. Nikki Davis. And then, as I said, we'll have Sharon back on Tuesday, February 9th on the Romantic Heart Healthy Dinner for 1 or 2 or 3. Hey, you know, what have you, whatever Valentine's Day means to you. And then we'll continue to schedule events. So once again, we're on Facebook, Salt Lake Thrive, email, saltlakethrive@gmail.com. And we'll be sending out the recipes and other resources to folks who registered for this event. And I'll include our contact information. Let's see, we have some comments and thanking you, Sharon. You did a great job. So you did so much. You did what, 4 or 5 dishes for us in just an hour and a half. And I've told Sharon, I don't do cooking demos because I can't talk and cook at the same time. It would be a disaster. Fortunately, some people like Sharon can be charming and cook and talk at the same time. So
Thunderous applause. I love
yes. So thank you so much again. We're so glad everybody could join us, and we hope to see you in January. Thank you so much. And happy holidays, everyone. Happy holidays, and 2021 is on the way. Vaccines and 2021 are on the way. So much to be cheerful about. Thank you. Bye.
Anybody have a question? You can unmute yourself and ask if you need to, or if you want to talk or anything.
Going once,
I've got
going
one.
twice.
I do have a question.
Go ahead.
This is Maria. I tried making the crispy bars with you, and mine came out kind of crumbly, like it didn't hold together.
Oh, it hasn't cooled off yet.
It needs to cool off longer. Okay, so I was trying to form them in balls, and they weren't holding together very well.
I'm so happy you were cooking with me. Yes.
I was cooking with you, and I already ate my enchiladas, so it was delicious. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
How long did you say to cool the treats for, Sharon? How long did you say?
30 minutes to an hour in the refrigerator or somewhere cool. I mean, this is how they come out. This is from my last batch.
Gotcha.
That looks
it is
delicious.
like, yeah, it's hard, and you can see the crispies there. Yeah.
Okay,
So
good.
it's hard.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you so much. This was really, really fun.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Any other questions for Sharon? Any other questions? Well, all right. And if we have any follow-up questions, like I say, we're going to be sending our contact information through email or what have you. So certainly there'll be other opportunities to ask questions. So thanks again, and we'll see you on January 6th with Dr. Nikki Davis. She's really fabulous. You don't want to miss her. And I can provide also the link, or if anyone's interested in the link to her her presentation on breast cancer. It was great. It really was. All right. Thank you, everybody. Yay. Happy holidays. Stay safe, everyone. Bye.